Now, Menkase, these are some of the topical issues that are taking over the space. Ghana for Ubia Kanwasem. My culture said if we be able to advance as a country, we need to make corruption, idea find a graft, a high risk venture. Nipa daseni akoma no so obekwa wuram. And before elections, you know, Abufu Ghana for the Koto Abani mainly was driven by the passion to get the criminals who have stolen from this country prosecuted.
Sure.
And until when President Mahama took over and people were not seeing any action, you could see that sort of, you know, abambuo on the side of the people. But Makacha said the wheels of justice are grinding slowly. Here we are once again. One of the most topical issues has finally come to the table. The Attorney General today is ready. The persons involved have been formally charged and the court proceeding is beginning. And I think that we are Ghana near is a sign of relief because Makacha said, say a punish people who commit crime of this magnitude, and people hide behind political power, political influence, the kind of affiliation alliances and the kind of political prominence on rise to capitalize on that particular influence. Now because over the years it's a nema yabu near gusunedia baby and Ghana ni be not expect to say the John Mahama government will be very brutal front and not taking up some of these issues, you know. Now Ghana, that particular Ghana, you know, can take a sign of relief and I come about on say now the show is about to begin. And when you walk into some of these criminal engagement activities of these individuals you repose who state authority, power and resources into them. The trust, the confidence, chile say, the 2 miamao. Ko aban sika kodi abanyanim. Na ye neema ne nhihye ye betimi aboa ma the average ordinary people na amanfa omuni hope. Benya hope. And neema beko yama o man na yetimi akoya nim no. These people turn enterprise of government into a cesspool of some kind of a shitty way. Omono use to advance personal, you know, neema ombenya. And it's a what's now Kroma had a track record. At some point in time, Nam Kroma throwing herself around and a quarter football team. Now I'm 40 radio TV. So now where the monies were coming from, people were not even your friends are checking in as a form. Here we are and crank to a move free university bar, ya post you a more national service. Or music ya the moment over the years. People are complaining. Because so we are NSS personnel, we bet me a hand down our crap and a problem because we hand them a catch us here 1 year, 2 years, but the person is doing 1 year national service. And the 1 year now can and papa never but the system will force you to go and rent a room for 2 good years. The Nipa do go through all the struggles new year, but some is one Sika Obenya 700 Ghana cedis for 2 people to sit at the office. And still 653 million no national service personnel no sikana de mo no could have been doubled a bit ya. But James sikana ye kan ho asem no enye sika ketwa o. The money is involved in this particular case no your friend is saying why o mi sikana ye kan ho asem no na 53 million Ghana cedis. That is what was trumpeted in this particular country. But sika we ye kan no 600 million plus the Wyoming cash. 600 million plus the Wyoming cash. And I can't want them. And Nipa Mienu and the Tenacia, they orchestrated this particular heinous crime against this particular state. And to Obiti Bena Wagin so are buying assassin and people are witch hunting and as for this is what Ghanaians voted for. Ghanaians voted for John Mahama to do some of these things, take some of the toughest decision just to ensure that we punish crime. Say I deter people say governance, you know, and yet avenue to make money or an enterprise where you come and foolishly amass wealth for yourself. And then look at the way a man at this particular crime well orchestrated. I told you, sir,
60,000 non-existent national service personnel, resulting to a loss of 500 million plus.
And Maka said there is no smart person obey you to establish systems and institutions or chrono. Nipo be yes be nimyansa because chrono I go through bank transaction, I go through transfer, I go through e-switch and then as for there is no way you can cover your back because system no you're not built here always it will give you up the signature, the back trace, everything is there. And it's a way in Tanzania who use bank and who use any other system about me I say me no be and then look at how these people stole the money. 60,000 people are among your national service da. And I just saw moving ghost names in the peer good system. And I pay binum double. A dinner 60,000 unko date of birth for more year, a beer the 1 year, nipa 1,000 at the 1 year among your national service.
1 year.
1 year. Under 1 year. Ye national service na we obi a we nyansania o bok onkwase akro no we ye wo te ho asem we fa yetimi ko internet na yakwase amanfo pictures e be free Kenya e be free Burkina Faso na yasese omo anim na edi na we internet na de asase
e be the 60 years
na do ma be national service na ye tu omo ka because they are able to transfer all the money into a single e-switch account and I say you too big, but it's coming to the same person. And the very people who are supposed to live life for better me inspire my young people out there, no, and now national service. The young people who go to various offices, you know, they don't even train them on the job. You got credit breme, kotoko breme, that foolish errands, no, so you do your national service and come home without even having a single experience, because to them you are just an errand boy. Yes, small, a man for more use, no more use, and the benefit. Because panini not to order near, also making sure say enkra betime train you momonya survey. Who be a experience, you know, or no, he is busy out there stealing and robbing the state. Why are busy? And this is the reason why Amaka said we need to make corruption a high risk venture. So for me, I think that this prosecution, I'm yet to see anybody who will come and cry for say political witch hunting. The money is involved, you know. Almost a panya a particular region. Because 53 million Ghana cedis and I can was them. Sasika chain a bag him the swat, Nipa was studio, yen baby. How can two individuals sit there and orchestrate such a crime? And it's not justice. JB, there are several of such cases. Yet sorry, trainer nam from ye nibi, a sequabrane say or cofa trainer, a sky, a wiem. Now more damn trainer nam from Winibi, also quiet trainer and wiem, and who seek 2 million. Adashia, your friends say young who wants them in there. So I think that these are the harsh realities. As a yakam was a magana for who say politics and now good. We must begin to let people bear responsibility for their own action, for their own crimes. Say to me and so like some of these issues are and never cover the problems I yet high. So Attorney General in the team, let me commend them. Because over the years, Ghana for more. Some of these things and I near my Ghana for person. So we need to move on and ensure that every single act of corruption be a cause the cases must be line up. Now, young resources, the AG's department, making sure say all the resources that are needed just to ensure say you bet me yes I deal with I bet me as because whenever you are dealing with the black race, you're very dangerous people. We are very greedy and very selfish. And this when to me I established the conventional red lines. Amana and Tuamana who say me bokronwa a whole consequences in there. Man will always do the unthinkable, and that is the reason why we must begin to make corruption a high risk venture. Oh yeah, them people in the present government, who also you take caution. So the same future awaits you, because say what by crime punish you, another person will come and also punish you.
Innocent. So the issue is, yes, 600,000 non-existing national service personnel. Yes. That is the national service boss Nankasa.
Yes.
And I give you a so area 10,000. On the year, alleged 9,934.
Yes.
What need Nabuma is approximately like 70,000.
Yes.
But over the months, it said 80,000 ghost names.
Ghost names.
So where is the remaining 10,000 ghost names? When are you responsible for the 10,000 ghost names?
Sir, it's an ongoing digging Oware. So I think the investigations now air course is what is unraveling all these things. I give us a closure, because you can't go to court and be speculating. You need to go with absolute figures and numbers backed with evidence, payment, transaction, everything be back. So I think that the investigation and I bring it to bear the other related issues. So I think that the court will have to examine all the critical facts, the evidence. Who say they bear some sort of an evidential value above, reproach and as for to be standing the test of prosecution in court. Because you see, one funny aspect, very often some of these cases, will travel in the court for years. At the end of the day, there is no closure. Ghanaians are watching, because you see, the few Makatas are Ghana, the sustenance of our democracy hinge on this particular John Mahama government, because you see, when Akufo-Addo was in power, people lost every trust in democracy. That is why over the years people were preaching coup d'etat. So people want to see what John Mahama will do differently. I bet me a grand Amagana for once again and your hope and your friends said that kind of way, our democracy. So now doing some of these things by making sure say people move here, because these monies were meant for other stuff. Do you know the number of people who died because the state didn't have money and how to take money from pensioners? Do not stroke that them. Now no matter say Akufo-Addo na say the darkest decision their friend saying say the DEP but the DEP was a deliberate orchestration out of certain foolish decisions some individuals decided to take. Because Omobobo Sene Yanka and Chomo Kruma say, Asembe na Yanka, as of the day, some of us were deemed anti-government some kind of way. People, he was even calling people sambalat and the same president too. So it's not as if it was a mistake. It was a deliberate orchestration. When Onwankasa the Wafasi Ekonoforata and Wojana Kwatena baby, Onwankasa Kura Yawunu Mua finance minister, he's unable to come back, That is what he did. So these are near mercy, ama manfo ebinu mabaye janka, ebia lusune papa, ebinu lusu moja padie. These are the harsh realities. And we must begin to make sure say corruption becomes a high risk venture. Motivate you obia. Na make kwa China, you say agric minister disika. I'm not sentencing it to death. I am not saying say your sentence will be to death, but you see, JB, this particular money, the existing legal system now, a criminal system now, will make it possible for us to jail these people and retrieve our money. Because we cannot just put them in jail and make sure that 600 and something million goes scot free.
But this time the ministers were there.
So wherever the money went, because there were people who were doing transfer. We $10,000 for command. That is what they were doing, transferring some of the money through bank and through back door. Among for ABC for them no more Pakistan, Sicily and Aberewa no Timisasa over millions of pounds. So these are cases I'm expecting the Attorney General to go there. Aberewa oncha pound, aberewa oncha dollar. Now ultimately achichi sika on do kumnem pass and as a form. We need to know where those monies are coming from, because Donald Trump call American president, Uko be receive mawunya sika na yenya no sila da pada mu no. So what are we doing? You understand? For me, these people were able to take advantage of the system because system not creating enough incentive and motivation for people to commit this kind of political plunder, and they get away with it. We must begin to make corruption a high risk venture and send a message to somebody out there. And Ghana for also, let us Asemba, it is not about Nipani NDC or MPP ni. Let us tackle the person. Abraba waboni sika wafa. When we begin to politicize some of these things, now I went to a particular program now, man, for say, to me, political witch hunting. Even to ask that particular question is absolute nonsense, because who doesn't know Nema Brante where do Kruma say? It must even ask that particular question. So you begin to color these things with political, sentiment, some kind of affiliation. We will lose sight on the core issues. So for me, I think that I commend the government, and it's not just this. We need to go ahead and make sure say every single Gifty Oware, national say scholarship secretariat, the same person in this another chrono akoso kahubi, and there are several other criminal
more chrono so that the okoko GB na demand.
Documents na be one kind.
Scholarship
Documents the involvement in some of these things endorse because influence and no influence peddling and as for you don't think those things are crime and as for kind of us or secure those things for herself. And you see, we need to do proper investigation and establish the ground rules and make sure that going forward, crime is punished. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you are president, deputy president, minister, whoever. You're punishing setting the basic rules now. I think that man will set up and begin to do things differently.
My main call this show, but before my main car say the local residents and the commercial drivers of Sumenya Pond Road, a kind so or Martin Tesuko the Chirabai, Adayan Mokwan, and yet Ntisana Kasaska, we commit me to be a bear 1/3 in pool at the Akoko Gusu, but I could do Quabrani Bottom, and I'm ranting a demonstration. Miniam to
you. That's it. I think say na me manu gusu ame ba be kan no say empempiye bodaru say yemma emma kwan na benu nso no bintumi nyame adoma chede a ode ama benu ben so betumi aiden ayusu say ohwe last week graduate of friends in law school lady Latifa Fuseni.
Yes. ABA Fuseni
Bano.
Yeah.
I obenya the overall best student no. Ahu say ye ma kwan a megidie say bebetumi aye enso aye krabro emema ne emema bi mu eye so. Enti no say ye bossa da runa ye guso champion for the affirmative action bill say ye be pass e wo parliament no. Na ebi mo nso ena ma akiri ensem bi say ya eba saa ha adwen because ohwe saa ayi lady yasem ya ye kan ya utim say osi ni boa nkasa se obebo oman no kro no hwe unse eye somewhere June honum ne attorney general be kan se on pesa obe rashe na why prosecution enti no oguso edge information send be ya se or prosecutor onimne oyden oye enhwehwemu be da say time a behu say about 189 million bi afa bimun sa to ana say ayira wo NSS honum no home of be start say be investigation na investigation no mu no ni bebehu say about nipa be 22 bon wa asem no out of the 22 no ne ba nkasa be sha ase say ebi mu ko attorney general office sha ase say bebe kan